all know is very important. And most importantly, it's important now more than ever. So I'm going to focus on, of course, everything that we've learned in the last year. And there has been a lot. I mean, things are not as we knew them to be, but some things have stayed a little bit the same, but there's also a lot that we have, been able to learn through trying and testing different things. So today I'm excited to really show you all that we've learned, or at least a good snapshot of that. So first and foremost, as we all know, nothing is the same. So for us at the Hotels Network, we have had so many hoteliers coming to us all throughout this year, just really perplexed, wondering if, their conversion rate is anything like what others in their market are seeing, for instance, or if they're seeing a higher rate of disparities from OTAs. Is that something that's just happening to them, or is everyone experiencing the same? So there have been a lot of question marks. And from our side, we have a lot of great data. So we've really been trying to provide, as many answers to those questions as we possibly can. So that's sort of my segue into what I want to focus on today. And this conference I know is all about learning. So I want to focus also on learning, of course, so that we can first and foremost understand how do we compare to our comp sets, and what can we look at right now to really understand how we fit into the mix. I also want to talk a lot about getting our fair share of direct booking. So the fair share is important because everything has changed and the pie is smaller, less people are traveling, obviously. So what can we do as a hotel to put our best foot forward to make sure that we do capture as many direct bookings as we should be capturing? And then last of all, there are no budgets, or there are very small budgets now. So if we can explore some free complimentary resources, that's just going to help everyone. So I definitely have some ideas here. All right. So first of all, why am I and why are we as a company qualified to talk to you about direct bookings? Well, it's all we do. So we've been focusing on growth for the direct channel for over 6 years now. We're always continuing to innovate. And specifically, what we do is we work with our clients to optimize their websites and their booking engines so that they are deploying the right personalized messaging or optimization tools so that they do have the best chance of converting. And of course, everything we do is backed by data. And speaking of our relationships with hotels and all the trying and testing we're doing, we have a lot of clients, and we have about 7,000 hotels on our platform currently. We're in 96 countries, and we work with more than 300 different booking engines. So again, our data is unique in that sense. So again, let's go back to those comp sets. Let's go back to trying to understand what is the new normal. Am I doing well? Am I doing poorly? How do I understand any of this? And so this brings us to something we're very excited to be launching just this week and also publicly here at Travel Tech. And that is our brand new benchmark platform for the hotel industry that we call Bench Direct. So as it says on the screen here, it is in fact free forever for everyone. And that this really is our way of being able to help the industry come together. I know that's also been a big theme at this conference, to again take back that direct relationship with their visitors, with their website visitors, perhaps shift from OTAs or at least rely less on them for direct business, which, that the other channel is important, but it can be costly. So again, the more we can share with hotels, the more they are empowered. And at the end of the day, we need the industry to thrive if we're going to thrive as a business. So it just all makes sense for us. So benchmarking, let's talk about that. And let's talk about how Bench Direct stands out. By the way, I am going to give you a demo of the platform as well. So here we go. First and foremost, most benchmark products, usually they're not platforms, they're usually reports, typically focus on, this 2% here. So in other words, what happens after the bookings have taken place? Okay, so that's more of really, I'll say, a photograph of what takes place. So what is our overall conversion rate looks like, average booking value, and so on and so forth. But we all know that there is a lot of information then missing. So what is happening in the rest of the funnel? What is happening in terms of people even, conducting a search on my website or bouncing from my website? So there's a lot of very very important data that occurs throughout the journey. Not only that, but learning about visitor information is also incredibly important when understanding how you can perform better in your business. So we're looking at the full funnel, the full 100% here when we talk about Bench Direct. The other thing I'd like to do is maybe help sort of bring some context to our platform. The reason for this is simple. We've been talking to our clients about this for weeks. They have been sort of in the know ahead of everyone else about this new platform we've launched. And everybody, it's human nature, wants to sort of put a new product into a category or a bucket with someone else, which is totally normal. So I thought I would just do that here for everyone. So first of all, I hear a lot when our clients are seeing the platform that it resembles some of the information they might have in Google Analytics. Well, that's very true. However, what's missing from Google Analytics, as we all know, is the comparisons, comparing to your comp set. So again, when you want to benchmark yourself, you need to have those comparisons. The Star Report is very popular. I think it's a great product. I hear great things about it. But at the same time, it's also looking at that photograph versus the full funnel, which we refer to as the video. Okay, everything that happens before the bookings take place. A lot of booking engines have great reporting, but again, those are specific to a piece of technology, their booking engine. So again, if you can look at data across over 300 different booking engines, then there's no underlying piece of technology that's influencing every single person in the report or hotel, I should say. And then we've got great companies like OTA Insights. I've heard also wonderful things about them. They provide a lot of great insight around disparity data, which of course we also have as part of Bench Direct. So marriage of all of these things and more. And the and more is definitely represented in large part by the amount of visitor data we have incorporated into Bench Direct. So again, if you could think about having all of the data we just talked about and then being able to filter that based on, the country of origin or the device type or any of the things you see on the screen here, that is, in a nutshell, what our interactive platform is all about. Okay, so this is just a little sneak peek while I transfer over to my demo, because I know everybody likes to see things in action here. So what I have prepared for you is a brief overview of our demo account. So this is all fake data. There's nothing real here. Hopefully it cooperates with us. But I really look forward to sort of explaining all that's here. And I can't even do the full platform justice, frankly, but I'm going to do my best. So here we have a quick view of our conversion dashboard here. And what I'm looking at down below is a comparison of what we call the Peaceful Garden Hotel. So this is a demo property. And that one hotel has the ability to compare their conversion rate versus their entire brand, if in fact they're part of a brand. Okay, so if I have 10 other hotels in my brand, I would be seeing how I compare to them. And of course, if you're an independent without a brand, you just wouldn't see this category. We then have the ability to compare to our destination. This is also important. We want to know, if everyone in my city is having a higher conversion rate than me, then clearly I have room for improvement. All of this data, obviously, as you can see here, is anonymous and it's always grouped. And then I'm really happy about this last category here. THN stands for the Hotels Network. This is really, for us, our vision for this platform is, again, all about learning from one another within a network. So if we all share our data, there are things that we can learn perhaps from lookalike hotels. Maybe there's a hotel that's not in my city or not down the street that sort of looks and acts like mine. It has, similar rates, similar star rating, similar number of rooms. And maybe I can learn something from that hotel's conversion rate, despite the fact that, again, they're not in what I would consider to be my immediate comp set. So that's what the THN category represents. By the way, we have all these other reports available also. So we're focused here on conversion. Everything you see on the left-hand side in the top section here is related to our funnel. Rates and disparities, of course, is self-explanatory. And down here is that visitor data I talked about. So I'm going to look at a couple more of these. But before I do that, I just wanted to continue with showing a few other things that we're seeing on this screen here. We all know that when we talk about conversion, there are several different components to looking at a conversion rate. Frankly, there are many different ways to measure it. So here we have an example of how we can change the data we're viewing below here based on wanting to know, for example, our total conversion rate from visitor landing on the website to following through with a booking. Then we have the top of the funnel. Okay, again, this is typically missing from benchmark reporting. Those visitors that land and actually continue to search. That's important data. I want to know, especially marketers want to know this. What more can I do to drive traffic to my funnel, through my funnel, to my booking engine? And then, of course, we have your overall booking engine conversion. Okay. The other thing I wanted to point out is here, we have multiple filters. So this is great data already, but now imagine if we could apply a whole other level that says, for example, we are only going to compare to city hotels, or there are others down here, or only resorts, for example. We can do that. Or maybe we want to look at family travel. Maybe that's really our key focus, and we want to share some reports internally that are only relevant to how we're performing with families. We also have the source. So we know if your traffic is coming from maybe your meta search campaigns, and we can measure your conversion rate as opposed to or related to those visitors coming to the site. And then, of course, device. We know how important it is to monitor what's happening on mobile devices, especially right now. So you have, again, all of these opportunities here. If I scroll down, by the way, every section also has multiple reports. So I think we really have thought of everything here. So here's your total conversion over time. Again, you're comparing it to the other benchmark categories, and you can change your view to daily, weekly, or monthly. This is a really popular one. My clients quite like this one. Everybody's trying to see in COVID, week over week, month over month, are things changing? We're trying new things. Are we improving? This is a really great graph for that. By the way, here you can see I can download each of these independent graphs into a PDF report, or I can download everything in this section into one combined PDF. Really easy to share the information. I'll just quickly show you a couple of other things. Length of stay, again, is a very important metric right now. If you can see that other hotels in your destination are doing better than you in terms of converting longer stays, then maybe there's more you can do instead of thinking, oh, maybe everyone's staying one night or 2 nights, because that's the most popular thing most of my clients have been seeing is very short stays. So if you see the destination is booking longer stays, then you realize it's possible. So what more can you do? Okay, so you're gaining some insight there that you can action. Disparities is, as I already mentioned, a big question that we're getting is, oh my gosh, OTAs are undercutting me more than ever, or at least it appears that way. And many hotels that do work with us have all of that data in their dashboard. But again, how does that compare? Is this happening to everyone, or is this only happening to me? So here you have the ability to see how frequently you're being undercut by the OTAs, for example, and what is the average amount that they are undercutting you by. So all of this data is here. And by the way, if you just wanted to look at, for example, Priceline data only, you could filter the OTA you care most about. Okay. And last but not least, I just wanted to give you a glimpse into what we offer through visitor profile information. By the way, in all of this, we are capturing data through very simple things like perhaps, the static data that visitors carry in their browser when they land on your website. It could be through IP, for example, such as geolocation. And otherwise, it's behavior. So we're not asking people for personal information. There's no GDPR issues here whatsoever. This, again, is readily available data that our technology is able to read simply by having scripts on the hotel website and the booking engine. Okay, so there's nothing tricky going on here. And here you can see we are comparing by device. We've got desktop versus tablet versus mobile. And by the way, if we prefer to look at a table of data, we can just toggle over to tables. Very easy to do. And then we have down here the visitors by country. So this is the last thing I'm going to focus on, but the importance here I think is probably obvious. But right now we all have traffic from within our own country for the most part. At least that's true in North America where I am. But at the same time, we're looking at recovery here. So if you start to see, as borders start to open up, people begin to travel again, if you can see that your destination is receiving traffic at a higher rate than you are from other markets, then again, maybe you can deploy some very personalized campaigns on your website, knowing that people are coming in from those markets. Right. So there's a lot more, but that's my quick version. And with that, I'm going to actually just jump back into the PowerPoint here so that I can continue talking more about the fact that, okay, we have all of this great data. We understand we could be stronger, for example, in terms of targeting certain markets, or targeting families, or improving the mobile experience. So how do we do all of that? Of course, is the big question. So let's talk about ensuring you're getting your fair share of direct bookings. In order to do that, I think it's important that we agree on a few things. So there are a few facts here that hopefully everyone will agree with, but just to make sure we're all on the same page. So we all know that on average, most hotels have about 98% of users leaving their website without booking. A 2% global conversion rate was typical before COVID. And of course, for a lot of hotels, it's gotten worse since then. But again, that's a massive opportunity. If we look at those numbers and think about the fact that, 98% of those people are leaving, that means we can perhaps do a little more to keep them from leaving us. Not only that, but again, there are just fewer bookings to go around. So the market is more competitive than ever. So if you've got other brands, whether it's OTAs or competitive hotels, that are really putting their best foot forward to engage with people on their websites, and perhaps your website isn't doing that, that's again a missed opportunity, because they may have a competitive advantage to you in that sense. Okay. And we also know, and again, this is pre-COVID, that 80% of guests that are booking on an OTA did at some point go to the hotel website. So if someone's coming to look on your site, that is your opportunity to make sure they know how valuable they are and to engage with them and to personalize their experience. We all know hospitality is all about personalization. Certainly, if somebody is going to walk into your lobby, you're going to engage with them, and the same is true online. And we also know that consumers are trained this way. It may have been very popular with Amazon back in the day, but now it's everywhere. It's when we listen to music, when we watch movies, and in all types of retail situations and in hospitality. So again, it's all about making sure your hotel is sharing the right messaging with the right guests at the right time, because again, it's expected and people want to read content that resonates with them. They don't want to waste their time with anything that doesn't fit what their interests are. Last fact. Travelers today are looking for reassurance. I think we're getting that now after a year, but you'd be surprised. I have been to a lot of hotel websites where there's absolutely no effort being made to communicate with the traveler that, hey, this is a safe place to book. We take COVID seriously, et cetera, et cetera. So again, that level of reassurance is incredibly important. So let's introduce some tools. What can we use to make sure that we're achieving all of these objectives? We're personalizing experiences, we're reassuring people, we're keeping people from leaving our website. And by the way, of course, everything I'm about to show you comes from our own platform. So it hopefully isn't a matter of thinking, oh, that sounds like it would be nice to do, but how do I do that? Or what do I have to invest in? What do we have to build? You don't have to build anything. Again, it's about adding scripts to a website and having a layer on top that can look and act as though, it is part of your website, whether it be a tool, an optimization tool, or a personalized message. So lots of great examples if you're wondering, what exactly am I referring to? So first, foremost, for
Carrie?
Right. So,
network issue, I guess.
We are lost.
hello? Are you still hearing me? Everyone?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, we can right now. Yep.
Okay, great. All right. So again, the other purpose of this tool in particular is to make sure that people don't leave your website. Okay, so if a visitor is thinking, oh, I haven't seen any reviews, I'm going to go to TripAdvisor, you may lose them forever. So again, showcasing a curated collection of reviews on your website is going to help to satisfy that need for seeing reviews. Okay. We're all familiar perhaps with price comparison tools. We have one that is 100% proprietary to us. It has a 0% error rate and it works in real time. And of course, with a price compare feature, the key objective here is, again, encourage guests to stay here and book with you by showing them that they're not going to get a better rate anywhere else. So if they feel like they need to check that for themselves, you're taking away that desire by showing this. Not only that, but just to make sure that the functionality of this is understood, this tool will only show a rate from an OTA that is either on par with yours or higher than yours. So you can see here, we do not have a better rate from the OTAs. However, if the OTAs do have a better rate, which we know happens, that is suppressed from this tool. It does not show to your visitors, but it is tracked in the backend dashboard with a screenshot so that you can access that later. Now, the one exception to showing rates with disparities would be if you wanted to match disparities. So this is something you would choose to enable, but you could use price match. So again, if OTA is undercutting you by something small like 5%, you could simply say, we'd like to match that rate. And through our platform, that is all automated. So again, it's a choice, but it is possible to do. The thinking there is, why not give 5% back to our visitors rather than risk, losing that person altogether as a booker, or paying, 15 or 20% perhaps to an OTA. All right, flexible cancellation messaging, it should be really very prominent on your website if you have it. And that might sound obvious, but I really had to put this in because I go to so many websites, even myself booking a staycation recently, where I had to dig to find out, what happens if my plans change? Am I going to be able to be refunded? So again, make sure your messaging is front and center. Now, imagine if you're an uncertain guest in a booking engine and you're looking at a hotel and you're thinking, this looks good. I think I found the right place, but I still need to talk to my spouse. Imagine having the convenience of just sending all of your search information straight to your inbox. That's what we do through Save Your Search. And for the hotel, of course, this is a great way to stay top of mind with uncertain travelers, and a very convenient way to confirm bookings as well, since we've got an email here with a book now button, and it enables a guest to go straight back into the website and booking engine with their date selected to confirm their booking. And of course, this also grows your email database. Okay, so we've seen a huge increase in saved search requests. Personalization is perhaps my favorite topic here, and that is just because, again, it's the personal touch that makes such a big difference. So showing content that is relevant is key, but also making your designs look good. So on our platform, as we continue to enhance it, we've come to a place now where pretty much any design you can think of is possible. We have 1,000 different fonts you can choose from. We have an image gallery. If you want to use external images outside of your own, you can use your own. But we have over 2 million images available with no copyright on them, different shapes, sizes, templates, anything you can imagine. Because at the end of the day, anything you put on your website should not look cookie cutter. It shouldn't look like a pop-up that 10 other hotels in the city are using. It should look like it is a native part of your website. The way we personalize is through advanced targeting. Okay, so again, we're going to get more to personalization. I did mention a little bit earlier, but let's take a look in a moment about how we are specifically triggering messages that are relevant. When it comes to formats, though, again, many to choose from. What I also wanted to point out is if you want to avoid what we call, the Christmas tree effect, where you've got so many different messages popping up all over the place, then what you have is the ability to use multiple different formats. Okay, so you can be very subtle. And again, if you're targeting your content, I may go through your website 50 times and see nothing because maybe you're not targeting me. So it's very important to have a good strategy here. What I also really like is this inliner format. This is a message that doesn't even pop up. So again, you could have all 4 of these messages on your site and they still would not inundate your visitor. So we're going to look at some examples of those. When I talk about personalizing messaging, there's really 3 types of data we can look at. So number 1 is the static data. We did talk a little bit about that earlier. Maybe it's carried in the browser. It could be geolocation. The static data could tell us which device your visitor is on. And then, of course, as they interact with your website, we learn from their behavior about their travel intentions. We know through search dates which season they're looking to visit in. If they've got children in the search, we know it's a family. And then the really exciting point we've come to now is that we have predictive data. Okay, so we're able to tell through machines whether or not someone is likely to book with you or not likely to book with you. So again, targeting triggers. How do we personalize? I'll just talk about a couple things that are really popular during COVID because again, that's what it's all about, is what have we learned right now. Geo targeting is important. We're not just targeting by country or even by state or province. We're targeting right down to local city. And why that's important in the time of the staycation is that you may want to trigger a slightly different staycation message depending on how far away your visitor is coming from. So if it's someone down the street, you're competing against your other hotels, your comp set locally. However, if it's someone who's driving for 5 hours to get to you, essentially you're competing with 5 hours in every direction of that person. So therefore, you should be promoting your staycation as a whole. Very important. Of course, we're looking at dates of stay. If it's a 2-night stay, we'll aim to upsell into a 3-night or a 4-night. And then we can look at the overall booking value. And we know if this is someone looking, for example, to stay for 2 weeks, which could be long. It certainly is for a lot of my clients during COVID. And now that person's maybe exiting your booking engine, we could trigger an offer through exit that we wouldn't trigger for anyone else, purely because we are aiming to save that high net worth opportunity. All right, so I need to speed up a little bit here. I just looked at the time. Machine learning, great, very successful way to increase bookings within your low intent guest segment. So the people in the bottom 30% who are least likely to book, they need the incentive. The people up here in high intent, they don't need the incentive. So there's a promotional savings when you make offers only to a low intent segment. This is something we're having great success with. Very quickly, some examples. Let's focus on designs. First of all, this is one of my clients here. This travel with ease message couldn't be more simple, very basic. They've created it with one of our templates, but the point is it matches the branding of their website. I really like this smart note over here where it says free parking. We're used to smart notes on OTAs that kind of pop up all over the place. This one's transparent. All of our messaging has the ability to have you adjust the opacity. Most importantly, because this hotel is playing a video in the background. So if we're not covering up videos and beautiful images, then again, we're deploying something that feels as though it's supposed to be a part of our site. I mentioned inliners not popping up. Upgrade your stay here. This is an inline message format. So again, you can target the content in here. It looks like it's an integral part of your website. You can launch it in 30 seconds. You don't need anyone technical. Not only that, but we've got multiple messages on this screen. There's our review summary. And over here, this little icon, that's also one of our messages. So again, instead of having 3 big pop-ups saying all of what we need to say, we've chosen more subtle formats to be able to still communicate the same things. We have a countdown timer to create urgency. We had great success with this during Black Friday and Cyber Monday. There's a whole blog on our website about that. And I also want to point out that during this time, as we're capturing more email addresses, who doesn't want to grow their email database? That's always important. We've seen a huge spike when we change the content. If we can offer to provide timely updates related changes to the destination or at the property or anything related to what's happening in the world, that's going to see an increase in spikes in email signups rather than a passive sign up for our newsletter message. We clearly have a lot of hotels that are looking for ways to offer fenced rates. You know, they want to be able to have maybe be able to compete with brands that have big membership programs, loyalty programs that are costly, and they don't have those. So the other thing we can incorporate is email capture with our one-click promo code. So again, here I would click on this link, the booking engine would refresh for me once I've submitted my email address, and that enables the hotel to offer a new rate through the use of a promo code. Mobile is everything right now. We've seen mobile traffic go through the roof. The nice thing about our platform and where we really like to focus things is on creating a completely unique mobile experience. So less things popping up, more inliners and offers that are exclusive to the mobile device, because guess what? When people are on mobile, they tend to be researching, and we capture them earlier if we capture them on mobile, as opposed to going back to desktop where they can clearly open multiple tabs and they're is a lot more for them to look at, and there's a greater chance of you losing their business. The other thing we've done since COVID is we've built a gift card platform. So the number one request we had back in March was we need to find a way to generate revenue now for stays that occur later. Okay, so again, we've built in this great gift platform, and you can do different things with gift cards. You can issue refunds, you can grant proactive rewards, or of course you can sell stays even with an incentive. All right, and last but not least, I just have a few targeting examples. So I talked about promoting your staycation destination and talking about all the wonderful things to do in your area. So again, this message was only triggered for the local market and a certain segment of that local market. Now, as we start to get people traveling overseas again, for example, let's acknowledge that someone's coming from afar and again, make them feel comfortable. Here we have an example of what we call source targeting, and this means that quite simply, we could tell this visitor came from an Instagram promotion that this hotel was running, and so we greeted them with the same content they had seen on the Instagram promotion. This family getaway package over on the right-hand side is only showing here in this booking engine because we have a child in the search. No child, no message. At the same time, for families, we can present family offers, and this can be a great way to upsell rooms. Families are growing, a lot of families having, 3 children or perhaps traveling with the nanny. So if there is a promotion that could guide, one family trying to fit into one room into a second room, then again, that's something we could trigger only if we know this is a family search. Then very quickly, we have an upsell opportunity here, staying for 3 nights. Again, this was only pushed if it was a 3-night stay. So try to get people to stay that extra night. And last example during COVID, and I love this one because it works so well, is if you do still see that you're getting a lot of 24-hour searches, 48 hours, why not create a package around that? So again, make sure that your content is resonating, that your visitors think, oh, the 24-hour stay, well, this hotel's thought of everything I would need in a 24-hour period, including late checkout. This sounds like something I need and makes me feel comfortable, and therefore it will increase conversion. All right, so a lot of the things that I've shown you today are complementary or could at least start that way. Bench Direct, as I mentioned, 100% free for everyone forever. And everything I showed you in that platform today and more is available to everybody. So you can email me after, you can sign up via our website, whatever you prefer to get on our waiting list for onboarding. Not only that, but because of COVID for the last year, we have been doing extended complimentary trials. So for 60 days live with another 2 to 4 weeks of setup before that, where our team guides everything for you, you would have full access to our platform, everything I showed you here, everything we have, and a lot of, as I said, guidance training, whatever you have time for is open to you. And at the end of that, you have data, great data, that will tell you what positive effect we were able to recognize together. The same is true of our machine learning trial. That is platform, I should say. We also offer free trials of that. And last but not least, we have all kinds of great resources on our website right now. So I appreciate your time. I know I went a little over, but if there are any questions, I'd love to answer them.
Thanks, Carrie, for that. It's I think one of the questions that and I allow myself to make it is hotels tend to be a little bit skittish or afraid when they see this technology, right? It seems so daunting and it does so many things, but I know for a fact that it's actually super easy, right? So I wanted to ask you about the onboarding process for any kind of property with a hotels network.
Great question. And you're right. It's very, very, very easy. So all we would do is load scripts onto the website and the booking engine. And if hotels have Google Tag Manager, we could do that for them. But it's basically cutting and pasting. It's very quick to do. We're already connected with over 300 booking engines. And frankly, we can work with any booking engine. So there really should be no issues there. And once the scripts are there, every single message and tool is available to everyone. We have a very user-friendly dashboard that every hotel we work with has access to. It has tons of great reporting, real-time information, as you saw, or as I referenced, different templates for things with, full guidance and support from our side. We offer unlimited training. And during COVID, we're offering complimentary service, configuration of the tools, strategic ideas. You can really count on us to be an extension of the team right now. So, we really don't want there to be barriers in terms of people even just giving it a try. If you're short-staffed, don't worry, we got you covered.
That's awesome. And let me ask you for your opinion on this, but with the latest news on Google and ads, like having a super powerful tool like yours, it's like running a Ferrari with like rocket fuel, right? So I don't know if you think that's the case, because it's free ads, and then I have a free tool forever doing bench direct, plus all the other things that the hotels network can give me. So I don't see why hotels are not running right now to contact you and getting on board, right?
Well, they really are. And I think